8. I just win again and win again like Wimbledon I serve. Yeah, that's him again. That sounding engine thunders like a bird. You see fireworks and Corvette tires skirt the boulevard. I know how you work. I know just who you are. See, user, bitch. Ah, yeah, all day.
Yes, I love me some Kendrick. I think it's gonna be on the next list of concerts.
Yeah, honestly,
I would love to see him live, and everybody says he put on a hell of a show.
Let's just go run a mile, y'all. All of us, let's run a mile together. Fuck the show. Fuck doing the show.
Here's a great workout. Like if you running this shit, you be done passed out.
All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod. Joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Monday. No show yesterday. Just hella busy. Had a lot of stuff to do. I was on For All Nerds. They did a Mandalorian All-Star review, and it's out now everywhere that you can find out For All Nerds. They got a YouTube, everything, Twitch channel. Go check it out. I had a lot of good time, a lot of fun talking nerd stuff. You guys know I love nerding out, and you know I have a good time when I'm over there hanging out with the crew. So it was fun. And you know, spoiler alert, I like things, so I did like the last season of The Mandalorian. So you know, you got to hear a range of perspectives. The official weapon of the show is
the taser,
an unofficial sport,
a
bullet ball extreme. Also yesterday we did Keith and the Girls last week on Keith and the Girl, which if you're a crossover fan between both of us, that's where we wrap up the things that they said on their show throughout the week, and we kind of interview them and ask them behind the scenes questions, so you can find out which guests were assholes. You can find out you know, what's going on in their personal lives that they haven't talked about on the air, get updates and stuff. And then just, we like to hang out. We always end up telling stories. I'm always in my head about how long the episodes are because, you know, I'm trying to make them shorter, and I take less notes and stuff. But the truth is, I realized at some point we like talking to each other, and
yes, and so we gonna talk.
Yeah, like we all have jokes about how long the show is, but if we're being honest, every time we all get an opportunity to get together and talk, it's not like everyone else is doing all the talking. We're all contributing, and like that always ends up being a fun time. And then I submitted my first draft for the podcast I'm writing for Michael Harriet's podcast that's coming out. You know, this morning I submitted it yesterday, and then this morning like the main person that's over it emailed me this morning to say that she was only on page 2 and she was already laughing out loud, and I was like, whew, good. You
that's
know,
a good thing.
Not that I thought I was doing a bad job or anything, but just, you know, I was trying to my shit is out there. They said we could do anything we wanted, so I was like,
hey, you let the imagination go. And
yeah,
you know, I'm not gonna lie, it's one of those things where I'm, you know, big, you know, like they say, dream big. I do have kind of big dreams. I don't know if we would ever do this, but I would love to have the money where you get these ideas and we could just go. We could just hire people to do things, hire people to create things and draw things and just go, because the ideas you have sometimes they're so beautiful, and sometimes they're just little small skits, and they don't even have to be that long. But I would just love to just be able to do a lot of that stuff kind of in-house. And if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But just for the fact that I would like to be able to just do those things and just have a ball, just putting those things out into the universe, because there are other people that really enjoy a lot of the things that you do in your thought process that would really like it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's definitely something I've thought about in the past. I think that's why I say every time I get an opportunity to do something, I'm kind of learning for myself too. You know, I'm thankful for the opportunities. I'm thankful for, you know, the money and all that type of stuff that comes with it. But the main thing is I'm always just learning. And in this case, I'm writing something narrative. I haven't really written a lot of narrative stuff, and it's sketchy. And by which I mean it's like a sketch. And like, you know, I had like some kind of almost Rick and Morty-ish type of hijinks, some like breaking the fourth wall type of stuff in there. And I'll get feedback and see if it works for the voice of the show that they want to make. But they really empowered us to like kind of swing for the fences and to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if I got another story, I wouldn't do it the exact same way. But like, I wanted to kind of put my own imprint on it in a way that someone else probably wouldn't think of. So hopefully, at some point y'all will get to hear that and hear the final version. And maybe when they put the final version out, depending on what else changed, I'll let y'all know what the idea was going into it. But
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Somebody said IMDb. Yeah, Roger got an IMDb. I looked and I see an IMDb from from Bo's show. I looked in and I clicked and it had your name and it had you all up in IMDb's.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't even checked to know that. So yeah, that's dope. So
you got IMDb credit.
One of these days we're gonna get a wiki page.
Come on, we're gonna get a wiki page. Let's go.
I don't know how that process works.
I don't know. You submitted. I don't know how that works.
We already got some stuff on tvtropes.com. So people are documenting the history over here. But yeah, so that's why we were so busy yesterday and why you didn't get a show. And like I said, I'll be busy throughout the week because I'm gonna be working on that. And it's not like super time consuming, but you have to set time aside to think about and do that stuff. Right. At least I do. So I think I said official weapon and stuff already. So
taser, bullet bottle string.
Yeah. So I guess we can go ahead and kind of start getting into the show. It's a big news day today.
Oh, what happened?
A lot of stuff. Let's start with the music, and then we'll get into the news.
Okay. Oh shit now. Oh shit. I need to put on my heels and go hit the streets. Hey, regular ass news. Hey, let's do this regular ass news. Hey,
that's pretty funky.
I like that.
Let's get into the news. So the first thing, Tucker Carlson is leaving Fox News, and it looks like he was kind of fired. I'm sure it was a mutually agreed to part ways press release, but his last show was Friday. He didn't know it was his last show. So that to me, that says firing.
You got fired then, because if it was mutually exclusive, everybody would have known. He'd have gave an announcement like, hey, just to let y'all know I'm not going to be here no more.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, like, if that's how he got out of there, is it because of the Dominion lawsuit? It was a $788 million settlement. His face is one of the biggest faces of Fox News and one of the biggest faces of people that was putting out information that wasn't true. He had behind the scenes emails that leaked that tell you his role in it and tell you the fear in correcting the lie and trying to shut down people who were telling the truth about the election not being stolen and stuff. So I wonder if this is my guess, but I wonder if to him it's like, let me just leave, or to them, let's get him out of here. Because the odds of him really going on air and retracting shit, I think is pretty low.
Yeah,
he don't even want to be that guy in the first place. And then they have to pay this money at some point. To some extent, his leadership and him being the biggest name kind of cost them, because his emails show he was one of the main people. Like, nah, let's keep lying.
And also the thing is, for every company, once I came to this conclusion, it made it easier to determine why businesses do what they do. Mm-hmm. You know what you do at your job? You either save your job money or you make your job money. If you lose your job money, whatever you lose them, if it's bigger than your salary, it is not worth it to them. Right. It is not worth the investment. And so, the almost $1 billion they got to pay, they're like, no, dog, that is worth more than what we pay you probably per year. Or either if we pay you more, we're paying a huge chunk of your salary. So we rather let you go than to deal with this. And it could be one of them things where they told him he had to apologize. He said, fuck that. They was like, well, then you got to go.
Yeah, he was also at the center of a New York lawsuit against Fox News lodged by a former head booker and senior producer who charged she was subjected to sexism and hostility while working on his show. And like someone in the chat said, like, they think that's the reason. I'm like, except Fox really hasn't shown a propensity to care about that shit. Like they only move on that stuff when they have no choice. Like when Bill O'Reilly has 9 people come out, then they're like, all right, he gotta go.
Right.
So my personal belief is if they hadn't lost that lawsuit, they just ride that shit out.
Yes, they do.
Like they don't seem to be the type to get rid of people for sexual harassment and shit. Like
that's their jam. What are we talking about here?
But yeah, it was kind of interesting. A lot of people celebrated this. As I'm, as I feel like that's appropriate. He's a pretty terrible person, and he's been there forever, and he's become the biggest face of white supremacy on mainstream news. I think, if you want to call Fox News that on a mainstream channel.
Somebody else will pick him up. Trust, it's always somebody.
Or he'll go into business for himself.
Yep.
Too.
Start his own network.
People
start
like
his own
that.
Podcast.
Yeah,
yep.
There's a blueprint.
A lot of times they end up making more money branching out on their own than they do when they associate with the companies.
Speaking of which, Don Lemon is out at CNN, and he didn't know. And what's crazy is that Fox and CNN did not coordinate. Nobody knew the other people were doing this. Now, Don Lemon's been more embattled over the past few weeks, and there's clearly been like a slurring, or I don't even know what I would say it's a targeted campaign against him. You could tell from the leaks. Yes. He didn't do himself any favors. He did say some dumb shit on the air about Nikki Haley being, and women of a certain age being out of their prime, trying to be sassy and snarky towards her, and I don't mean that in like the pejorative sassy, but like I'm sassy, Michael Harriot is sassy, I mean that way. Anyway, he was trying to be like snarky. There you go. That's the acceptable left leaning word. He was trying to be snarky towards her because she was talking about people being old and too old to being in office, and then he was like, well, you got to be careful with that because some people think a woman of this age is in their prime, and of course all the women took offense to that. Like that's it's that thing I always say. Don't tell me we go low on the left. We don't. We never go low. And when you go even a tad bit low, everyone fucking takes a charge and goes, you're a bad person. So you really can't do that. Like if you want to talk about Chris Christie's weight and you work at CNN, don't. Like just say you don't like his policies, keep it above board. Whatever jab you think you're gonna get in that's kind of funny, if you got a podcast independent, if you have some type of platform where you're on your own, but if you report to any liberal bosses or some shit,
that's not gonna fly.
They're gonna hold you accountable in a way that the other side will never hold themselves accountable. So you can't even fight that fight, and don't believe these people, and don't give into the pressure of just be petty and don't even believe it. They will turn on you and leave you out on the island by yourself.
Yeah, and they say that when they have no accountability or responsibility. But like I said, in their own individual life, they put up and deal with shit all of the time, and they wouldn't dare do that.
Yeah, and so Don is, a dude that tried to be petty, and they terminated him. He put out a statement on social media, his like Twitter account, one of those like I guess I don't even know what you call that font. It's
I don't even know what you call font.
Because the font, I think I saw.
Is it Common Sans? What font is this?
I think I saw Dragonfly Jones make a great description of it, and I retweeted it. So let me see if I can find what he said because it made me laugh so hard. But yeah, he was talking about how the font. Let me pull up my different Twitter. But yeah, he was talking about how the font looks like how Google looks when you Google how to beat a speeding ticket without a lawyer.
Oh no! And that legal font. Yeah.
It's just like it wasn't even legal. It's just like this blue. It looks almost like handwriting. It's so fucking.
Is it in cursive or something?
It's so stupid. It's not cursive exactly, but it just looks so fucking stupid.
Can I see it?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up now. Sorry. But once I pull it up, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that." When I had a search that just didn't go the way it was supposed to go.
A search that went left.
It's like if you Google like how to sneak drugs through an airport, it's the font that come up.
Oh no!
That let you know like
you're going to jail. That's what that means.
I found it. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up, guys. Let me share my screen. But man, that dude cracks me up, man. He's so funny. They also have a great podcast.
They do. We haven't had them on in a while. I get
Jenkins
them back.
and Jones.
I get them back on.
So y'all can see it on my screen, my Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what the font look like.
Oh no. Oh, blocky and shit.
What is that? It's not even like the Notes app. What is this?
I don't know.
And we all know this font when we see it of like the like this is not information that you can depend on. When you see this pop up on Google, you be like, this may or may not work. I might be
somebody says an Arial font. That's what it is, an Arial.
This the motherfucking undercover cop font that you be like, I should have known it wasn't true. It wasn't even typed right.
Did they bold the Arial?
Yeah, so he put, I was informed this morning by my agent that I've been terminated by CNN. I am stunned. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought that someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly. I'm be honest, through everything I've been seeing on social media, the leaks, the articles about other stuff he said to people and his quote unquote diva-like behavior, which could have some homophobic connotations to it. I'm not sure.
Right.
But whatever that shit, the writing was on the wall. They was trying to get you out of here. Because it's like, as soon as he got suspended, it was like every story, because, you know, you're not really going to find sexual harassment stories of him, like, doing anything sexual to women, supposedly. But talking down to people, saying some shit over the course of 17 years, as loosey-goosey as they play it on CNN, as fucked up as he's been in the past about racial stuff before he kind of had his Black awakening, as, you know, the drunk New Year's Eve stuff, I feel like it would be easy to find something on a person that's been on camera over the course of 17 years on CNN. It just feels MSNBC doesn't do the drunk shit. You know, they're a little bit more whatever. Now, that being said, I'll play the clip that people said they think may have got him fired. Give me a second, but I'll finish reading the statement first. At no time was I ever given any indication I would not be able to continue to do the work that I have loved at the network. It is clear that there are some larger issues at play. With that said, I want to thank my colleagues and the many teams I have worked with for an incredible run. They are the most talented journalists in the business, and I wish them all the best. So that was his statement. I was trying to see. Oh wait, I'm still on his page. Let me go to my page. I think I shared where he actually has there's a clip going around that some people are like, they think this is what got him fired. Now let me know if y'all can hear. If y'all can't hear this in the chat, please let me know.
Respect, I find your explanation reductive and actually insulting, including to Black Americans, to say that Black people today, compared to 1964, 1865, haven't made progress in part because of the freedoms we secured. And the Second Amendment was
Black
part
people,
of what secured
hang on,
that
please.
freedom.
I cannot keep a thought if you guys are talking to me in my ear. So hang on one second. So to say that Black people, say what you said again.
Black people secured their freedoms after the Civil War. It is a historical fact, Don. Just study it. Only after their Second Amendment rights were secured.
That's were not secured their freedom.
And I guess he's talking to GOP presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, who appears to be like Indian American, and he's telling Don Lemon about, I guess, Black people's history and freedom. And yeah, it's going to get worse.
Freedoms after the Civil War. That is not, you are discounting Reconstruction. You're discounting a whole host of things that happened after the Civil War when it comes to African Americans, including the whole reason that the Civil Rights Movement happened is because Black people did not secure their freedoms after the Civil War, and that things turned around. People tried to change the freedoms that were supposed to happen.
And you know how they got it?
They
got their Second Amendment rights, and they actually got the NRA played a big role in that. But today, down the
what?
Did not play a big role in that.
No, they did not. Fuck them niggas.
The NRA did not play a big role.
This is just historical fact. But
It's not historical fact.
The part that I
Just
find
because you say it's historical
the
fact,
part that I
it's not
find
historical fact.
insulting is when you say today Black Americans don't have those rights after we have gone through civil rights revolution in this country.
You are sitting here telling an African American about the rights and what you find insulting about the way I live, the skin I live in every day.
Here's where you and I
know
have
the
a different
freedoms
point
that
of view.
Black and white that Black people don't have in this country, and that Black people do have.
Well, here's where you and I have a different point of view. I think we should be able to express our views regardless of the color of our skin. We should have this debate
I'm not saying you
without me
shouldn't
regarding
express
you
your
as a
views, but I think
black
it's
man,
insulting that
but
you're
me
sitting
regarding you
here,
as a fellow citizen.
that you're
That's what I
sitting
think we should
here,
see.
whatever ethnicity you are, explaining to me
Whatever ethnicity
about
I'll
what
tell
it's like to be black. in
Whatever
America.
ethnicity
I'm
I'll tell
sorry.
you what I am. I'm an Indian American. I'm proud of it. But I think we should have this debate. Black, white, doesn't matter.
I think we should have this
on the
debate. but I think
content
you should-
of the
if you're gonna
ideas.
do it, you should do it in an honest way and in a
I
fair
think-
way. And what you're doing is not an honest and fair way.
Agreed.
We appreciate you coming on.
With
Thank
due
you for
respect, Don, I look forward to
Thank you very
continuing
much.
that conversation.
Agreed.
We'll
Thank
continue
you.
the conversation.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you, Papa.
We'll talk about China.
Yes, let's talk
next
about China.
time you come back.
Oh, thank you. Much to say on declaring independence from China.
Okay,
Something you
can
can
we
add
move
on.
on now, please?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so,
He's tired of him.
and so the person that shared this, Aaron Rupar, according to the New York Times, this interview that Don Lemon conducted last week with Vivek Ramaswamy played a role in his firing. Note co-host Poppy Harlow sitting silently while Don goes after Vivek or Vivek. So the thing I will say, like I saw some people celebrating, some people don't. I feel agnostic on Don Lemon in that I do recognize that he was out here saying some extremely anti-black harmful shit a long time ago. I feel like he's kind of changed course firmly, had a lot of integrity when it came to racial stuff on the show and whatnot. I do kind of feel like he's a bit of a I don't know, like he sees his role as commentary, but I don't know that it's always informed commentary. And maybe there's not enough time for informed commentary 4 or 5 days a week when you're having such a flex of schedules and guests and stuff like he does. Maybe that's the issue for me, and I would like someone that could specialize or whatever. Or maybe those people don't do good TV. Maybe there are people that know better and that have a better grasp on the facts and stuff, but the facts don't always make good TV, right?
No, they do not.
But I don't think he got fired for any of the stuff that the people celebrating him being fired for, at least on the left. I don't think he got fired for those reasons, so I'm not really sure that this is some mark of progress. I'm not even sure he got fired for the comments about Nikki Haley and women. I'm not sure he got fired for the quote unquote diva behavior. It seems like, to me, my guess is a lot of these corporate cable news companies on the left are still envious of the ratings of the conservative cable news stuff.
Yes, they are.
And the hosts who are the most left leaning and the most like outspoken and the most quick to clap back and often look the blackest.
Right. They're not gonna let you say shit and slide. They're gonna call you out.
Yeah, I do get that there's a side to this that's always gonna be true, and I think it's hard for us to admit it, especially if you listen to our show, because we ain't got no bosses. So it's hard to admit it. But when you have a boss, there's a certain level of like, here's what we want from you, and if Tiffany decides, fuck it, I ain't doing it that way, I'm gonna be talking shit about these Republicans, and y'all just gonna have to deal with it. To me, I'm like, yeah, you kind of are signing your death warrant. You are gonna get fired. You don't have the power and the influence to pull that move off on a weekend show. Don Lemon doesn't have the power to really, even with 17 years in, when you get a new CEO or a new boss of your network and they have this is the new line, and you go, I'm not doing that shit, I'm doing the way I want to do it, the mark is on your back. You put the mark on there yourself. And so my thinking is that's why they got let go. I don't think he got let go for the other reasons that, like, I don't think those white people are still upset with what he said at Ferguson. I don't think they care about his Bill O'Reilly was right moment. I don't think they care about even the women past their prime. I really think they're like, this motherfucker keeps talking about race. He brings on people that are Republicans, and if he don't pay lip service to it, he fucking goes back at them. We don't want that for the dinner or the network. We want this to be a hub for Charles Barkley to talk to Gayle King. You know what I mean? Like, we want this to be a hub for that kind of stuff to be accepted and welcomed and treated as if it is valid and viable and just another opinion. And I think Don Lemon made a choice at some point that he wasn't doing that kind of stuff anymore, and I think that's why he got let go.
Agreed, and that has particularly with the change in management, because they've had a change in management. That had to do because he had his own TV show, like primetime TV show. They took him from that, and all of a sudden he's doing TV show with a host of people. So it's been a slow tick at literally making him get out of there, because a lot of people would have been like, hey, I'll go for my own show to co-host. A lot of people are like, fuck this, I quit. But he was like, nah, I'm gonna keep my job. I'm gonna go ahead and go through the process.
Also, he's survived 17 years, so he's been up and down. He's had his own show. He's lost his own show. He's hosted the late night news hour. He's hosted the primetime news hour. Like, I can get why it is a surprise to him. I think it's not surprising to me because it's just, like you said, the trend seems to have been set a minute ago. And honestly, like, he doesn't really do himself a lot of favors. I'm not talking about the racial commentary. It's like, he's a pretty defiant kind of guy. Like, even when the first like thing dropped about how people were offended at his comments, he like kind of played it off like whatever, like kind of like I said what I said. And then eventually when they called him in the office, they were like, you have to apologize and you won't be on the air for a week. And then it was like, oh, okay, I guess I did fuck up. I'm sorry, everybody. So I don't know. Good luck to him or whatever. I'm sure he'll land somewhere, but
and my thing, and it's really, really fucked up because, as quote unquote liberal as the people on the left claim they are, a lot of white people have a lot of influence, and they're the ones that's making these quote unquote liberal left people are making these decisions, and they are the ones that's pushing a lot of these black and brown people out of these positions and putting them in time slots that don't get as many eyes and things like that. And it's one of those things where they're trying to cater towards an audience that will never come. Like, I don't understand. Like, the people, y'all never gonna get the OAN, y'all not gonna get those people. And then you don't cater to the audience you have, and then you wonder why your ratings go down because people that was like, oh, I like Don Lemon, or I like, whoever, the black or brown or other person is. I like them. You took them off the air. For some people, they go, that's the only reason why I was over here. Fuck out, and I'm gone.
Also, a woman, Laura Coates, lost her anchor spot, black woman at CNN. And black people reportedly that work there are furious because it looks like an unblackening. So this is the other point I wanted to make, a kind of a bigger philosophical point. But we said on this show for years at this point, when Obama got in office, there were a lot of black people who got to eat.
Yes.
Black people that white people typically do not care about their opinions, work their way into our like media landscape because white people clearly did not understand the Barack Obama black voter phenomenon. They needed people to explain it, people that could go in spaces they have no access to, people that folks trust, and also opposition wise, they needed black faces to say they don't like Obama, because the white people said it looked kind of racist, but if you can get the brilliant black person that, you go to for all the black commentary to come in and tell you why you don't like Obama. Well, that's not racist at all. That's just, clearly that person's just being fair. Now, is it a coincidence that almost every intellectual black person that gets on the air kind of don't like Obama? I don't know. But it seems to work out that way, right? To a certain extent. And I think with Obama kind of disappearing from obviously the political landscape as far as like being in front of camera, because what people will never admit is he almost had to go away because the backlash to just reasonable ass Obama was so unreasonable and triggering white folks that we got Trump. Yes, because racism allowed that shit to happen because they were fucking furious at a black man leading America. And I don't think it's that much deeper than that. And I really don't think it's anything Barack Obama can do about that. And I think everything that people claim to want from him that's like more militant and more whatever would have just made the reaction even worse than it was. And it was pretty fucking bad. So my point being, there was gonna come a time when they were just gonna get tired of that shit. White people are not fitting to capitulate the blackness forever. It's just, that's what privilege is. It's what privilege does. We all have privilege in different areas. And there is a limit to most human beings, which, is empathetically, I say this, not judgmentally, there's a limit to almost all human beings that they're not going to push themselves aside from the story forever. At some point, they're gonna care about themselves more so than they care about the cause or the movement or helping everybody else. You're a human being, and it's just gonna get to it. Everyone has a time. And I feel like, especially after Trump, we got like a little bit more of a return to we need some black people. Actually, it was George Floyd. We need some black people. We need some black people. That fucking library card, that book is returned. It's time to return it.
Yep.
They are done reading that book. That book, if it ain't finished, whatever they're adding that book, they have put the bookmark in it, close the book, and return it to the library. And I think you're seeing an unblackening again of these networks and shit, because it's like, we don't need these black opinions. We don't care. We're tired of trying to act like we care, because it's never ending, because so is racism, so is prejudice, so is anti-blackness. They thought we'll be good people for a couple years, and then the black people stop complaining, and then we can all say, hey, we did it, guys. High five.
That's not how that works.
And so I think, when you see the new brass come in and at the leadership of these companies, MSNBC and CNN, and they're like, what we need to do is stop all this left talk and start talking to middle America. We just want to have conversations. What they're low-key saying is, it's time for us to let the conservatives back in the room. It's time for us to start acting like their feelings are facts and our facts are feelings. And that way we can have a debate. And it's time for us to just have you talk to a guy that's telling you, as a black person, the Second Amendment is what ended slavery and gave black people their freedom in America. And the NRA was the people that did it. And you got to sit there and not say a motherfucking thing. You just got to let him say it, because that's his platform, and be nice. Look nice and be nice. Oh, you talking to him? Okay, your ass is out of here.
Yeah. And a lot of that boils down to, I've said this before and I'll say this again, when you're talking about a lot of those people that they were inviting, it's a lot of professors and people in academics that just appeared off the air, because the smart people, they would actually go to colleges and universities and shit like that, and bring a lot of these highly intelligent black people on, kind of quote unquote on both sides, but and bring them on to have these discussions. But after Obama, the phone stopped ringing. For some of them, it never rang again. And it's one of those things where they might bring them on every now and then when something quote unquote big happens in the black or brown or LGBT community. But other than that, they actually don't want you there.
I think Don made it through kind of because Trump singled him out. Like, I think if Trump hadn't singled him out, then Don Lemon doesn't make it through. But Trump singling Don Lemon out gave him like an extra couple years of life on the air, because it was like, oh, we got the guy that Trump's talking shit to, and he's talking shit back, and it's good for ratings. And then you change the people at the top, and their calculus, their math on that is a little different. And this is the other thing I'll say about these moves. I think this is a result of, we're about to start talking about Trump a lot again.
Yes, that's all you're telling me. Like the more and more this comes out, the more and more nothing has been learned. All you're telling me is we get ready to cover him, we get ready to talk about him, we get ready to bring his cronies on, we get ready to spread his lies, we get ready to spread his rumors, we get ready to do this fuck shit all the goddamn over again.
Yeah, and it's like, I think they're saying, we don't want you breaking the fourth wall when we do that. Like, the last thing we want is to look up and go, here comes Don telling everybody what we're doing is fucked up and we shouldn't have this guy on the air, making a point to be like, this guy's ridiculous, when we want to have him on the next 5 shows in a row, and here comes Don fucking up the program. I think that's the vibes, and it's like, yeah, we rather just get him out of there, and the next person to play ball, because you can see that white woman that was on there with him was not about to challenge a motherfucking thing out that man's mouth. She sat back and was like, and you could also tell from context clues, the producers were in his ear telling them not to do that shit, probably. Ask him this instead. Like, they were trying to move on, and he was like, took his shit out his ear, like, I can't think when y'all talking to me like this. And he wanted to go back at that man.
Right.
Like, he wanted to break that fourth wall and be like, nah, let's have a real conversation, and not just one where you sit here across the table and I gotta act stupid. So yeah. Anyway, that was That's what happened with them today.
Yeah, and not to get off topic, the thing that really, how can I say it frustrates me, because this right here is where people quote unquote look for liberal views and liberal opinions and black and brown and others, right? Mm-hmm. And then when you have stations, and nobody's perfect, but then when you have stations like BET and some of these other stations that go, hey, y'all, we care about black shit. We don't cover black shit. We don't go in depth about black shit. What does it get called? Ghetto. What does it get called? Why y'all pandering towards us? Don't nobody want that broke shit. But they're the only people that's actually talking about the shit that you actually care about and it actually matters to you kind of in general. But because the whitest man's ice is colder, a lot of people automatically shit on it and quote unquote consider it second class, when they're like, hey, dog, we're doing the same thing. We might not be as big. We might not have the same budget, but we are giving you the things that you ask of us. And then you turn around and you shit on us and call us second class. Yep.
So, let's see what else happened. North Carolina man who allegedly shot a child over a ball fled to Florida after the shooting. It was a 6-year-old. The basketball rolled into the man's yard. Robert Louis Singletary, black dude. He turned himself into Tampa, Florida police. He's 24 years old. He's being accused of firing a weapon at the young girl playing near his Gaston home. One teenage witness claims he became upset when a ball rolled onto his property. Singletary had previously complained about the child's toys ending up in his yard. He yelled at children entering his yard to retrieve their toys. When a parent confronted him about cursing at the kids, another neighbor said they saw Singletary come outside with a gun. In addition to shooting the child, identified as Kinsley Hildebrand, her mother, Ashley Hildebrand, was grazed by a bullet. Sadly, the little girl's father was shot in the back. He remains hospitalized. Despite the neighbor's account, police have not confirmed that the shooting was over a ball. Singletary was new to the neighborhood and described as someone who hated children, frequently yelling at youngsters and appearing angry when they were around his house. Since Tuesday's shooting, Singletary has been on the run at some point, making his way to Florida. It's unclear what ties he has to the state of Indiana. My thing is, and I know obviously gun ownership is the number one thing, right? But also, like, you moved into a neighborhood not expecting children to be children, basically. Right. And then how does this not make your life more complicated? It was too inconvenient to let a kid get a ball, but not too inconvenient to fucking shoot her mom, or dad, and go on the run to Florida. Like, nigga, you're going to jail. How is this ever anger? So this is why I know anger helps get some shit done for some people, but this is why I'm so wary of fucking anger. Because
I stay out of anger.
What I keep thinking is that in his mind, at some point, he thought this was a good idea because he was that angry.
Yes, they thought he was justified, and when people go, I was blind with rage. I was just saying, I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe you can get so upset and just get into that anger so bad. You're still accountable for your actions, but you can get into that anger so bad that you almost like blank out, and then you come back, you're like, oh fuck, what have I done?
Yeah, and then of course, just the gun angle of this dumb shit. Mm-hmm. All these responsible gun owners are responsible until they not.
Right.
Everybody that do some irresponsible shit with a gun is a responsible gun owner until that second. And that's crazy to me. Like, that is crazy that we just let motherfuckers have guns like this. Anyway. Gayle King and Charles Barkley announced a new primetime show called King Charles. It's coming to CNN. Yeah, I think I have like them talking about about it coming to CNN. Let me know if y'all can't hear it.
All right, it's official. King Charles, a different kind of royalty, a brand new show hosted by award-winning journalist Gayle King and NBA superstar Charles Barkley. It will be debuting on Wednesday nights on CNN this fall. They made the
Now, number one, does he know that it's not King Charles like we think you're the king? Because they said a different type of royalty. And even though Gayle King seems to get top billing here, it feels like to Charles, he's like, they're calling me the king. That's what it seems like to me.
Announcement just moments ago on TNT's NBA tip-off. Take a look.
What I think is so great for the both of us is that it's live TV. And to me, live TV is like working without a net. Don't you feel that?
Yes,
So,
100%.
So whatever happens, happens. I like that. Charles always says, I can't get used to you guys calling him Chuckster. I'm so used to Charles, so I'll just stick with Charles. Charles always says, I don't like a script. I like to have a little bit of a script.
He likes Charlie a lot, by the way.
Charlie?
Oh,
Yes.
please don't
Do
call
you
me
like Charlie?
I hate Charlie. I hate Charlie.
When Charlie and I are on TV, I just think that we're both very curious people. This is the thing that excites me most. Neither one of us were looking, well, I'll speak for myself. I wasn't looking for another job. Were you?
No. When they said something, I said, hell no, I don't want to be on TV more. And then this is when they first brought it up, and I said, they said, what about Gail? I said, Gail who? They're like, Gail King. I said, oh, yeah, I'll work with Gail.
Yes.
That's the only way.
And I
We
had the
called
same
each other.
conversation. Yes, yes.
She said, Chuck, I don't want to do TV anymore. I'm only going to do it if you want to do it. I just told them the same thing.
Exact same thing.
And so is the thing, consider the show. I think it's like once a week, 4 hour. It's live. They're gonna talk the news of the day. They're gonna have guests. Charles Barkley claims it won't be political. It's not gonna be like other shows. They're gonna just speak their minds and not be afraid.
Unless you're gonna do morning mimosas like they do on American Dad, what is we talking about here?
Yeah, and it's on CNN, a primetime show. And I think this is the kind of stuff they want instead of Don Lemon. Because Charles Barkley is a low-key way of getting kind of like uninformed conservative views that are not fact-based, that are very rarely rigorously researched, that are not typically thinking man's opinions. And it's a lane he shouldn't necessarily be in. You know, basketball, I get it. He's like a basketball clown in the bestest of ways.
Yes,
I don't even.
I love him.
I do not
TNT.
mean that as shade. I mean, I love watching him be just a basketball wind-up toy that says funny stuff, even when it's denigrating the NBA. Even when the joke's on him because he doesn't know what he's talking about, and they make fun of the fact he doesn't. That stuff is great to me.
Fun.
It's why the TNT halftime show is better than the other shows, in my opinion. But this shit, they've tried this before. They had that Charles Barkley, we are gonna have a conversation shit, and it went terrible. It did like a few episodes, and he went to like Baltimore to tell them about black on black crime and why
them niggas was like, word,
why he supports the police, and he's talking to mothers of people that were killed by the police. So like, what became evident in that clip is he was out of his depth, and this feels like some white person in charge over at CNN thinks this is a good idea and it's going to reach all these people that don't normally reach, as Karen said, the people that are never coming.
Right. Why cater towards them?
And you're just going to piss off the people that used to watch.
Yes. And your ratings are going to, you're serving, put like this shit serves nobody.
Yep. I agree. Like, and I get, listen, we're talking about it. So there's a value to, hey, even you're talking about the announcement, maybe you will watch. I promise you this.
I won't.
They'll have clips. They will go viral every week. Probably, because they're gonna make sure they do. They're gonna make sure. We may even talk about it on the show. I promise, because that's the kind of shit he does, you know. And he's a big name. This is why they're paying him.
Right.
I guarantee you this: the ratings won't come back. I guarantee you that, because this shit has never worked. It's never worked. Every time they do, and this is not Barkley's first rodeo with trying to do the political, not really political show. I'm gonna be president because I understand the white people and the black people. It's not gonna work. It's the thing that the black people who hate Obama, it's the thing they hate about him the most, except that's all Charles Barkley does. You know, it's denigrate black people in front of white people, except that's his number one stick. You know, so I don't know. It just seemed like a fucking waste of time and stupid. Let's talk about something else. Karen,
What's up?
a DoorDash person, DoorDash the company, asked a driver's wife to complete an order after the driver was rushed to ER.
No.
Okay.
Fuck that food.
Karen disagrees. She wouldn't do it. All
no, you better call again and request your money back, bitch.
He got into a car accident while working his DoorDash job. And so this is April 15th. It's in Texas. She says, I was at work running my shift when I felt my phone go off. I thought it was my boss calling me, But when the store phone rang, my coworker handed it to me saying it's urgent. On the other end of the phone, she was told her husband been in a car accident. He was okay, but their car was completely destroyed. After arranging to cover for her own job, she got a ride to the hospital. I was so stressed because even though I was told he seemed fine, I had to see for myself to make sure.
Right.
I cried so much because I was so worried about him. Seeing him on a stretcher just made me break even more. Thankfully, none of the people involved in the accident were seriously hurt. While the couple were waiting for the doctor, he realized that the DoorDash order was still in progress. He freaked out. He tried canceling it, but he was all over the place. He didn't know what to do. I tried helping, accidentally called the customer, but I let her know anyways what happened. I found a contact support button and I gave me a bot, and after clicking the option to cancel it, I was connected to an agent. In a screenshot of the conversation, Miranda told DoorDash, the support worker, that her husband was in the emergency room and she wasn't sure how to cancel the order. The support worker said, "Too bad to know about the situation. Will you be able to complete the order?"
No, I will not. I don't get paid. DoorDash is not paying for me to do this.
Yeah, this must have been AI. Is that a real person said that? That's crazy.
That was Chat GPT.
I honestly let out a laugh when I was asked if I could deliver the food. I showed my husband and it cheered him up a bit, funnily enough. Honestly, it didn't surprise me, but at the same time, my husband and I both had a "are you fucking for real" kind of thought in our head. A DoorDash spokesperson told Newsweek, "This interaction with our support team falls below the high standards we set for ourselves at DoorDash, especially during the distressing and scary time. We take these matters seriously, are urgently investigating."
It wouldn't be surprising if it probably was I don't know, that may have been a real person, or may have been a bot. Probably a real person knowing some shit like that.
Yeah. Wow. That's insane.
Bitch, I don't work for you, no.
Listen, you need to make a left on make a left on MLK and finish this delivery.
I'm not getting a full what you call that, a W-2 from you, no.
Right. Florida couple delivering Instacart groceries was shot at because they drove to the wrong address. And they are black. Yep.
I know it ain't a big thing, but periodically, if I remember, I like to put like a little tray outside so that people know that this is the house, this is the place, so they won't be trying to figure out what number.
Yeah, and my thing is, if someone wrongly comes to our door, I normally just help them out by not trying to kill them.
No.
I know it's a novel concept, but why add attempted murder to the wrong address?
Right.
Mix up. You know,
I don't think that's a good sign.
Get a Ring doorbell and get on the horn and be like, "Hey, it's the wrong address."
Yeah, like they did us. They might drop that shit off anywhere and leave.
Maybe don't go get your gun and murder them. You know, seemed like a bad idea to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just the kind of person that doesn't think, I would like to go to prison forever.
I don't think that's worth death.
Because you rang the wrong doorbell. It just seemed to me like. Not a reason.
That's a little extreme.
Not a reason for you no longer to exist on the fucking earth ever again.
Right.
Because you confuse 617 with 619 and now you're dead because I'm fucking crazy, apparently. Responsible gun owner, though. All right. Public schools would have to display 10 commandments under a bill passed by the Texas Senate.
Y'all kiss my ass. Y'all get on my nerves.
You know the question I always have for this? Have y'all never been to one of them like church overnight teen center situations? Okay, those are the freakiest hoes on the planet. All right, and the 10 commandments and Bibles and stuff is all up in them buildings. Okay, everybody in there, they're finger banging. Okay, at the lock-in, they are getting down. Okay. Like whole everything in there, every sleeping bag just filled with genital juices. Okay, you can't deter these people, not to mention like the sex scandals and all these churches and shit. Like, you can't deter people, and if the kids do sin, 10 commandments or not, it's gonna happen. It's so crazy. I honestly, and I know I don't wish this on any culture, and I don't want them to be put in harm's way, but as a thought experiment, I always in my mind go to, man, what would happen if there was a town that had a big enough Muslim population that they started trying to pass laws the way Christians do?
People have a fit.
Oh yeah, we want the words of the mosque, of the Quran, we want them all over the fucking schools. You know what I'm saying? Like, we we don't want gay marriage either, but for for Sharia reasons, not for the Christian reasons. These fucking they would want to nuke a town of Muslims that did that shit. The fucking Proud Boys and all them up for
would show up at their
the
front
3%ers.
doors.
Them motherfuckers wouldn't be talking about no religious freedom. Tucker Carlson would be on TV. He'd come back to Fox News today and be like, "I'll take a pay cut. I got to talk about these Muslims." It's so crazy that as long as the extremists are Christian, we can't say shit in America.
Right.
This is insane that we let this happen. Separation of church and state.
Right.
Literally. You know, it's not enough to have to do the national anthem that says under God and shit. What else do you need from us? Like, god damn. Anyway, I didn't really have a lot of jokes for that. That was just stupid.
It is.
All right. Let's move to another segment. Let's do some let's do some fucking with black people.
Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people.
All right, let's talk about the articles that make us feel fucked with as black people. BAA speaks out after Black Marathon spectators say they were targeted. We need to do better.
Who is the BAA?
The head of the Boston Athletic Association said that Thursday that the Boston Marathon organizers need to do better to create a welcoming environment after police officers blocked a predominantly black crowd of spectators from the course at Monday's race. God damn it, Boston. Okay? And you wonder why it's so hard to root for Jason Tatum. It's y'all. It's not him. The incident happened at a cheer zone on Heartbreak Hill, and boy, those black hearts was broken. Where officers on bicycles formed a line between the spectators and the runners. Now, why y'all couldn't do this when they bombed the marathon? Y'all let them through. The Newton Police Department said it sent officers to the scene after the BAA alerted them to spectators crossing the rope barrier and impeding runners on the course. Now, okay. All right. I think I know what happened. Okay. Because I'm black too. They was like, fuck a rope. Here come Keisha. I'm gonna fucking cheer for my baby. And they was crossing the line and getting in the street.
Yeah, getting in all in the way.
They probably was dapping some people.
It was like, I see you, girl.
They wasn't impeding nobody for real. They're just coming out to be like, to let Keisha know she loved and they celebrating her. And
then go down 10 more miles and meet her when she get there.
And you know, white people take that shit personal. They do. It's the same rules at graduation and shit, where it's like black people, you know, like, hey, don't talk, don't yell, don't stand up, don't cheer, don't clap, and they tell us all the rules, and then it gets to the J's.
The W's.
It get to
get to them S's.
It get to the Davises or whatever the fuck.
Come on, them Watkins.
And all of a sudden it's
them
like
Jenkins.
And all of a sudden for a second it's like, man, fuck them rules.
Come on.
For a second it's like, man, I only get one chance to watch my baby cross the stage.
One chance.
I'm gonna go crazy for a little bit, and it's only 5 to 10 seconds, maybe a minute at most.
Right.
It's not gonna hold anybody else up. Maybe make the white people feel bad because their families don't go up for them like that. But and honestly, low key, it kind of make the black people feel a little bit bad because even though they going up for it, it's like, nigga, why you acting like I wasn't gonna graduate? You're a little too happy, mom. Calm down.
Shit, some of them might not have. That's why.
I don't care. Don't tell everybody. Like, tell me that at the graduation dinner afterwards. Don't be out here
know us. We cheer for everybody.
Celebrating like I just hit a hole in one. Like,
come on,
I thought he was dumb and shit. Yes. Like, nah, fuck that.
You could be summa cum laude and they would still cheer for your black ass like you barely made it.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I said for both parties it could be a little. White people feel bad because they're not getting cheered on, and black people feel bad because they like, hey, calm down a little bit. I did do the work. Y'all saw me do the homework.
Cause nigga, I'm gonna cheer. I've seen niggas be coming out with big ass inflated pictures of you and shit. They was like, we gonna let everybody know why we here, bitch.
So anyway, they ended up retracting this. They said, we know that everyone who participates loves to celebrate the excitement of the race, whether you're an athlete, volunteer, spectator, or supporter. However, this year we did not deliver on our promise to make it a great day for everyone. They expressed to us their deep concerns that they were not given the chance to enjoy the day and celebrate their friends, family, and all participants as they approach Heartbreak Hill, and that is on us. Yes, also the fact that you didn't have like marathon workers and staff come out there. You had the police meet them black people.
Yes, it'd have been different if you would have had staff, which means they actually kind of work and
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And not that they would have cared, but it's just for the fact that
they probably still would have been.
I mean,
they would have got videos made about them on social media, and somebody would accuse them of being racist and all that stuff. But to me, that's better than sending the cops out there. Something way worse could have happened.
Correct.
Like, I've seen, and I'm not even saying it's always right. I saw a clip on Twitter of a black man accusing a white dude of being racist because he told him to put his. Matter of fact, that's the next story. Fuck it. Anyway, 0 to 100.
Oh, this gets 100. Because I know they was just cheering for Keisha, Brianna, Lashana, Tracy, whoever else was running, Brian. Laquan, they was just happy them people was in the race.
I give it a 75.
And bitch, I'm a cheer for you too. You know how hard it is to run a goddamn marathon.
Okay, all right. Go off, Ken. I will give it a 75. Only because of they issued an apology, so I take 25 off. But they definitely it was racist. I just can't think. I just don't feel like if white people did that shit, it would have went that way. That's my personal belief. Can't prove it, but I know how I feel. All right.
I done seen college teams lose and white people tear up the whole fucking town, turn over cars, not a fucking police officer in sight.
Exactly. So that's my feelings on it as well. Let me see if I can find. Oh yeah. So let me show y'all this one. This is not really an article. This is an interesting for fucking with black people. Let me share my screen again. I saw this on Twitter. Shout out to my man George Foster, who shared this. Black man thinks white man was being racist because he asked him to turn his phone volume down.
Racism is still real in Georgia. I can't believe Bob tried me like that.
So he put racism is still real in Georgia. I can't believe Bob tried me like that. I don't know how to get the white girl voice on TikTok, but clearly everyone adds it to everything.
Yeah, the white girl talking.
Is it not racist that that it's the white girl voice? Like, do they have other voices you can use, or is everybody default is the white girl voice?
I think that's a default. I don't think you're allowed to pick anything else.
Racism it's just funny when your message is about racism and the first voice you hear sounds like a Karen, Racism is like a snarky white girl voice. Racism is real. Like what? Like I don't know. I just feel like they should have another filter for when I want to share something racist, like Raheem voice come in or something. Not this, I don't want to be like Emmett Till was killed unjustly. Like what? Anyway,
racism is still real in Georgia. I can't believe Bob tried me like that.
What was it that you was asking me before you interrupted me with my dinner?
Asking me. I feel like, so this is the thing. As soon as he turned the phone on to try to get the person to say it again, it's a performance now.
Yes, it is.
And it's just what it is. We're all performing. We're performing when we do the show. But being that what you're trying to show us is supposed to be like a in the wild, impromptu confrontation with racism, putting on a performance almost makes it like, okay, is this like a skit? Is this a joke? Is this fake? But I don't think it's fake, but only because of the way it ended.
Because I turned it all the way down for you. Okay, but what was it that you was...
Bob turned in the background. Now, Bob is actually eating. This dude is performing with the like steak and the knife. I don't feel like he actually eating. He want to get the video.
No, Bob back there in his chicken fried steak.
Yeah, Bob in that dipping his biscuit in the gravy like, and I appreciate you turning it down. It was loud.
Is there a reason why you would ask me to turn my phone down when there's a band playing music that I don't give a fuck about hearing?
I'm so mad that he not eating his food.
It's getting cold and shit. He just chopping it up into little pieces.
He is banging on his plate.
Child, you eat that? You don't eat that food?
Do you think it's appropriate for you to ask me, a 33-year-old, a black man, to turn his motherfucking phone down? You should know. You shouldn't say a motherfucking thing to me.
So someone else said something about it, but also like it is that thing where like everything he's signaling is to me not making him right in the situation. It's like it's that thing that I don't like about like kind of online communities that are centered around grievance. It turns into this hierarchy thing where if I am below you, quote unquote, underneath you, quote unquote, on the privilege hierarchy, I get to be an asshole, and you have to be like, I can't say nothing. That's a black person.
Right.
They have less privilege than me. To which I'm like, hey man, you can be an asshole black person who thinks having a loud ass phone in a public dining setting and interrupting everybody else's conversations and dinner. You can be an asshole and someone can ask you, hey, can you turn that down? And they don't be racist. Another black person could have been like, can you turn that down? And not be like, man, clearly you being homophobic now. Or clearly you being you from the north and you hate Southerners. It's like, no, I hate people that interrupt my dinner with their loud ass phone in a public setting. Have you heard of headphones? You know, like what the fuck happened to us as a society? I wouldn't like. I know there's some people that hate the headphone thing, but honest to God, if you're gonna be watching your shit in public, just put it on the headphones.
That's all people ask because nobody cares about what the fuck you're listening to.
We have a solution. Like you're walking out the house with that dare you to say some energy and then turn it into like their problem. And this feels like if it wasn't a white man, it'd been a problem because it was something else.
Agreed.
But yeah, let me finish this out.
That's a thing. My hand should be shaking while I'm eating my motherfucking chicken.
You ain't eating, dog. The food is getting cold.
First of all, you're eating the chicken with a knife and fork. Okay, I didn't want to bring this up. I didn't want to say this.
It don't look like you're
eating the chicken with the knife and the fork. 2, your hand is shaking, all this adrenaline is coming. And this is one of the things we talk about all the time, but it's like, fam, you're walking out the house out without control of your own emotions. Because what this person said is really the kind of thing you should expect when you're playing your fucking phone loud in public in a space that's shared. Period. Whether it be a fucking subway train, whether it be somebody's lobby waiting room, it's just a shared space. It's inconsiderate what you're doing. No one can force you not to do it, but he asked you to turn it off and then you start recording and making a bigger scene. Clearly, you're the one who's triggered. Because the other option you could have had is, I'm not turning off. I'm just going to sit here and listen to my loud ass shit and let you be upset about it. Like, something's not wrong with folks, man. Not right with folks, man.
Now, what you got to do is talk to do over there and leave me the fuck alone.
He is, child. He's minding his business, drinking his sweet tea, eating his fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and green beans.
Yeah, and it's always like the thing that you have to think about with all the shit. You sat down, recorded this, HML, whatever, and at some point you uploaded this.
Yes, you did.
Because you're so convinced that you're the one who's right. Maybe because you're angry or whatever. But you're so convinced you look unimpeachable and it's completely this man being an asshole. And you were the one minding your business when, I'm sorry, I've seen black people, white people, people of all stripes being like, bro, we hate everybody who plays they shit loud on speaker for the rest of us because we just wanted to chill. Everybody didn't opt into being part of whatever your entertainment is. You know, and I just keep to me, I keep extending it because we're only getting half the story, but you could keep extending it. At what point? Because I'm sure there's people on the other side but he didn't have to say nothing. At what point would you say something? Like if they were playing loud ass music, had a lot of cursing on it, and your kids were around. If they was watching porn, if they were watching a movie that was stupid violent, like at what point would you be like, yeah, brother, you could keep that between y'all? If you listen to a podcast that has lots of cussing on it or some shit, or shit that people gonna fight about or whatever, it do seem like you wanted some shit. All right, here's the last 10 seconds.
You gonna ask another black man to turn his motherfucking phone down no time soon again.
And then he stopped recording. All right, 0 to 100.
I hate to be like this, but this gets a flat 0 because this all seems very performative to me. And the whole thing could have been avoided altogether. So I'm like, oh, I guess, but for me personally, I would have just had my headphones on or just be like, okay, my bad, and turned it down. Because that's the thing, he actually turned it down. You turned it down. That literally should have been the end of the interaction. That man is going on about his business, but because, like you said, back to you not having control of your own emotions, you allowing that rush of power, rush of adrenaline, that illusion that you're in control of the situation to help to embolden you enough to hit record, to play, and to upload it.
My favorite thing about this is how white man Bob or whatever kept eating his motherfucking meal. Like, he basically said, what I said was, could you turn it down? Could you turn the phone off, please? Thank you. And then the dude was like, oh, did you see my hand shaking? And Bob was over there like, anyway, like I was saying, Mary, now that the phone is off, what do you think about, such and such? Like, he was back to, should we refinance the farm or not? Like, he didn't give a fuck. And that was like what was missing. Like, if this dude would have been calling him a racial slur, even if it would have been like, turn your phone down and the dude was wrong for having his phone on. But if he would say turn the phone down, N-word, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, fuck this guy, 100, Fam, I'm sorry, I don't see what Bob did wrong. If anything, the part that fucks with me is the black person thinking, well, because I'm black, I'm trying to get all the black Twitter on my side to expose this dude.
Them
like he
niggas
did
that
something
don't go
wrong.
outside.
Yeah, like he did something wrong. This man didn't do shit. Turn your fucking phone down. What the fuck? Like this shit was not that serious.
I'm not fucked with it all.
Rude as fuck, man. And my favorite thing, and this does remind me so much of like the show Beef and just what we talk about with internet fighting and all this shit. Bob don't be on black Twitter.
Don't give a damn about it.
But white man Bob face was the face of everybody that sees somebody going off on some Twitter shit. Just like, you are, for some reason, extremely intense right now.
Yes, and I don't know why.
It is not that serious to me. Just turn your phone. You turned your phone down, I'm fine.
Right, this is the end of the interaction as far as I'm
You want to
concerned.
have a talk to TikTok? That's fine. You know why? Because you're talking to TikTok the same way you talk to somebody sitting across the table from you, and that wasn't the problem with me.
Right, I don't care nothing about you talking. The problem was the music.
The problem was you and that loud ass fucking phone. God, man. Anyway, 0 for me. I'm not bothered by it. White principal calls police on black girls who live in his gated community.
Did they go to his school?
I don't know. The man's name is Fred Veenendahl. He's a vice principal at Sunnyside High School.
Not Sunnyside.
After hours, he was nearby his home, which is in a gated community. There were 3.
That sounds like a Powerpuff Girl school.
It does. There were 3 black teenage girls he got into an argument with. As a result, he called the police on them. He accused them of not being from the community. In addition, he called them Section 8 people and ghetto girls. He's now on paid administrative leave from the school, and they released a statement.
That's what you think about all your black students.
We are well aware of the video circulating, and the district started an investigation to the matter early Monday. The labels used in the video do not align with our high standards that we have for our Fresno Unified teachers and staff. We want to assure our families that having respectful, inclusive, and loving adults serving in our schools is one of the utmost importance to Sunnyside and our district as a whole.
Sunnyside sounds so nice, and he was not sunny.
Yeah, he did not have a sunny disposition at all. Anything I say is a bit scrambled. But yeah, of course.
He goes to their rival, Cloudy Elementary.
Yeah, this felt like more of a rainy day situation.
Yes.
Yeah, apparently there's video of it. Let me see if I can find it. Guess it's the YouTube of it.
Riverside High School in Fresno Unified is now on paid administrative leave. This was after he was caught on camera making what some would consider racist comments at 2 teenagers on his
ghetto girls and Section 8 people. some would consider racist. Who are the ones who wouldn't? Jason Whitlock, Candace Owens, like who are the people that wouldn't consider racist?
It's amazing, but
Charles Barkley?
but yeah, you use certain slurs, they understand. Slurs about other people, they go, well, they could be. No, we know what they meant.
Some would say the N-word with the hard R is racist. We'll let you be the judge at home.
Stay off. Now, this incident, by the way, happened off campus.
Fox 26 News.
Oh, well, thank God. Let's just let him keep working.
News reporter Myra Franco spoke with those teens today about what led to those comments and shows us the video.
He didn't even do nothing, so we recording you right now. That you know that's harassment, right? No, it's not. Yes, it is. It's harassment. You're a grown-ass man. We're minors, though.
The video from Sunday shows Fred Viandahl, a vice principal at Sunnyside High School, telling the girls recording he's on the board of directors at this gated community in North Fresno. Following the heated exchange, he appears to be talking on the phone with police when he says,
Officer,
So how you like it in your face?
3 Section 8
How you
people
like
here.
it in your face?
Ghetto girls.
How you like
Ira
it in your
Shrub has lived near the area.
He clearly said it to hurt their, like he said it on purpose to hurt their feelings. You could tell the way it works. Even if he was talking to the police or not, he really was saying that to get their goat.
For 4 years. Reginae Lewis, 6. So what led up to this? Shrub and Lewis say they were walking through the gated community to cut their walk in half.
Shrub's mom tells me they actually have access to this gated community because they know somebody who lives here. She says her daughter and her friend actually take this area as a shortcut so they avoid walking the whole way around to the store.
They say the shortcut usually saves them around 10 minutes, but this time they took even longer when they spotted the man recording them. What hurts, they say, are the words he used.
Why would you even say some stuff like that for minors?
Yeah, unnecessary. You don't have to do all that, you know. Like, you don't have to rush.
This is, I mean, good on them for maintaining their calm, but I don't know. It does something to me to know that even our kids have to, in the face of insults like this, they're the ones being adults here. They're the ones that are being reasonable. He the one acting like a child, because those are reasonable questions. Like we're minors. You're saying racist stuff to us. Why? You know, and of course he's the one acting like a child, ignoring their comments and then calling them ghetto and stuff. He the one acting quote unquote ghetto, acting territorial and aggressive.
Profiles for no reason. Like, I feel so bad because, like, I'm as a black woman, I should be able to walk, you know, and just walk peacefully without, you know, people being racist for no reason.
They say they found out he was a vice principal at Sunnyside High School after posting the video to social
Shout out to Black Twitter CSI.
They be on it,
We
don't
will
they?
find you.
media. Fox 26 reached out to Fresno Unified, who confirmed it has a copy of the video. In a statement, the district told us, "We are aware of the video circulating, and the district started an investigation into the matter early Monday. The labels used in the video do not align with the high standards we have for our Fresno Unified leaders and staff. And we want to assure our families that having respectful, inclusive, and loving adults serving in our school is of the utmost importance to Sunnyside and our district as a whole." In Fresno, Myra Franco, Fox 26 News.
Now, the teenagers tell Myra Fresno police never showed up.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, is if he really was even on the phone with the police. I wouldn't, because I really think the way he said it to me sounded like he was trying to insult them under the guise of, I'm on the phone with the police. But even the fucking police wouldn't, like, as racist as the goddamn cops are, even they would be like, whoa, don't put us in that shit. You know, like they don't. That ain't the way they like their racism. Man, if you say I got two niggers outside, they're like, oh, we can't hit record fast enough to be like, we didn't say that.
We did not say that.
Okay, like, oh, let us give us a chance to turn our body cams off.
And the thing is, the police record everything. So trust, if there would have been a police call, it would have been out in the open. So put it like this: Black Twitter says I would have found that police call.
I'm sorry, but the only principal we allowed to talk like that is Joe Clark.
he the only one.
You're killing your brains.
You smoke crack. You smoke crack, don't you?
That's the only one we're allowed to talk like that to the black kids.
Do it expeditiously.
Karen, 0 to 100.
Let's get 100.
Yeah, Dracarys for me, man. I just the kids, man, the fucking babies. Like I hate that our kids don't get to be kids. Like we don't live here, of course. Like we just cutting through. What the fuck were they gonna do? What did you expect them to do, man? Like they can't walk through your neighborhood, and by nature, I bet you that means that gated community is in an area where black people stay, and that's why the fuck they got gates is to keep them out.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't walk through there to take a shortcut, to get home, save 10 minutes. It's a fucking community, and you're a fucking principal. You should know a community is made up of more than just the people that stay in your gated fucking area, dude. And I can't imagine the worry of the parents, man, because now it's like anything could have happened. We still getting information on Ralph Y'all. We didn't even bring this up last week, but the kid, I think we did bring it up, but not under fucking with black people. But the kid that was trying to pick up his brothers went to the wrong address. White man goes and gets a gun and fucking shoots him, almost kills him.
Oh, but it was in the car, right? Yeah.
Not in the car. No, different one. But it's like the parents in our community are already so fucking worried when their kids leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just normal American gun violence that's killing us too. It's a bunch of other factors as well. And one of those factors is racism.
Mm-hmm.
And something as simple as like something that no white kid would ever have to worry about, like, oh yeah, you got to walk through this neighborhood to get home. And they might call the cops on you. Like you wouldn't. The only way they would call the cops on some white kid walking through a neighborhood is if the white kid was a criminal. You know what I mean? Like they knew he was a criminal. They wouldn't assume.
They wouldn't assume.
But black kid, yeah, you don't belong here. Your skin just tells me ghetto, Section 8. Fuck you. Because those words are really talking about their housing and the assumption that if you don't live here, you must live in the ghetto because you're black. Just Dracarys for me. Dracarys. All right. Let's get into do some guest stories.
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
That's right, guess the race time. We're going around the globe, finding articles, guessing the race of people involved. A woman dumped her boyfriend as he wouldn't let her post pictures of him on social media. When she suspected he cheated, she turned to TikTok to find out the truth. In February 2021, Carlita Victoria had just about had it with dating apps. Exhausted by the lack of face-to-face connection, she decided to tell a man she had been chatting to on Hinge that she was planning to delete the app. He was persistent. He still wanted to get to know her and asked for her number. She said, adding that they then began dating and eventually got into a serious relationship. She's 38 years old. She told an insider she noticed early on that her boyfriend was quite private about the relationship, saying he told her within the first month of dating that he did not want to post a picture of someone he was going out with on social media until he was engaged. At the time, Victoria, who's based in North Carolina, was compassionate about his preference, assuming that he was being cautious to not prematurely share a relationship with the world if it wasn't going to work out. However, 10 months later, around the holiday season, she thought the relationship had grown serious enough that it warranted her posting a picture of them both on social media. To her shock, her boyfriend insisted that he did not want to be featured on her accounts. His decision led to a series of arguments between the pair, and they eventually broke up. She had broke up with him on suspicion that he might have had ulterior motives for not wanting to go public with their relationship. Now, it is interesting. His excuse was, until I proposed. Sounds like he hadn't proposed in 10 months, so nothing had changed for him. Maybe he really meant that shit.
Yeah, some people are very proud. Like, that's the conversation that people need to have, because everybody don't want everything about their lives on social media.
Now, that being said, if you are cheating, that's also a great built-in way to be able to cheat in peace. Desperate to find out whether her suspicions were correct, she turned to TikTok asking viewers if anyone knew her ex-boyfriend or had seen him with another woman. That's wild. She's like, well, we're not together now. I can't post a picture. Her post went viral and put the former couple under a microscope of online criticism that hugely eroded their privacy, but still she believes she took a necessary step to find out the truth about what happened. So she
Oh, you crazy. I am. Fuck is this?
Who, her?
Yes.
Okay. Although her boyfriend expressed some concern, she eventually did share a montage of photos of them both on TikTok, putting a sticker over his face to protect his privacy. But according to Victoria, he asked her to take it down because he was worried people would be able to identify him by his tattoos. Now, I will say, I don't know the rules of this. And I'm glad I'm not in this dating game. I see it all the time where I feel like especially women have a boyfriend launch party. Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about on social media.
Niggas let you down,
and it takes stages. It's not just a boyfriend like one launch, it's like a soft launch. That's when you start posting like pictures that obscure his face, like his face is cut out.
Yeah, somebody taking a picture of you, but it ain't you.
Yeah,
So
soft
you might
launch.
get your hands.
You're in Hawaii. Someone clearly took a picture of you in the bathing suit, and you didn't post any pictures of you hanging out with your girls. Probably some nigga being the photo person. Probably some photos of y'all together we're not seeing. That's the soft launch. Then, after a certain amount of time, you have a little bit more of a launch of like, you put his body in the picture, but his face is a little cropped out. Your hand just happens to be blurring it, sticker over the face. So you get that where it's like, oh, she's dating somebody, but and then maybe that's when you start saying stuff like talking to Bay the other day, or like
you got to slow roll it because you can't be out here too proud. Niggas will let you down.
And no matter how good you are at this shit, no matter how righteous you are, the post about hating every man goes down a little bit.
It jumps just a little
bit. It
bit.
don't matter how righteous you are. It don't matter. It don't matter if it's your brand. It's just people can't help it. It's like when people are cheating and they start talking mean to the person they love, quote unquote, that they're cheating on. And you're like, man, you think as a cheater, that would be when you put it on thick. That's when you got to do the biggest. I love you, baby. I just can't make it home tonight, but I love you, girl. I can't wait to see you, blah, blah, blah. And then you go out and cheat, and then she's never the wiser, right? No, I'll listen to cheaters. I watched the show. When they make that phone call, so I was like, bitch, what you want? And it's like, oh my God, she's got to know you're cheating. Damn, nigga, can't you see I'm sucking some dick? God damn. What, you got to eat dinner every night? Like it's just, you can tell from the context clues this person is a cheater. Yes. And what I'm saying in this situation, like when someone is liking someone and love with somebody or whatever, they can't help it. They naturally get a little softer. I hate to be giving away the game, but yes, everybody, I notice. And I bet we all notice when you're like, man, she used to really bash the men. She kind of fell off a little bit. She'll get
a little gentler.
Like we get a performative man bashing every once in a while, but it's not the same intensity.
Like it used to be.
Like when that nigga dumped her, it was every day, 5 days a week. It was like, oh man, man bashing content creator. You know what I'm saying?
That was a jam. I feel you though.
I'm a man bashing influencer. You know what I'm saying? And so you start to see that soften. You see a couple of the hypothetical bays, but no names. And then you get the hard launch. And the hard launch always goes like this. 20 million pictures of you and this nigga. And it goes back a long ways.
Yeah.
It ain't no picture. It ain't just one like, we went to a wedding together and this is my date.
Here's us at Venice. Here's us at the beach. We went to go see Bruno Mars. People go, nigga, that was 5 months ago.
It's every picture you didn't post at the time that we was like, oh wow, she went to the Bruno Mars concert by herself. I see you, girl. Do your thing. You don't need no man to go to no motherfucking concert. You make your own money. And then you be like, and then you think later, like, I wonder who took that picture. Anyway, that's crazy. It seemed like it was taken from a high angle, like a tall person took it, but
right, the angle is coming down on her.
It was 2 drinks on the table, but maybe she drank 2 drinks.
I mean, we seen 1 drink and 2 straws, but I ain't think nothing about it.
I ain't think nothing about it.
Maybe she was double fisting. I don't know.
She was minding her money. It's her business. I just thought she looked good in the dress or whatever. And eventually, you get the the full fledged like, oh yeah, she's been with this nigga over time. So what she did was all the soft launch. He wouldn't let her do a hard launch. She did a hard launch after it was over. Here is this nigga in his face. So of course, the internet got involved. Okay.
And you have no control once they get involved.
People started sharing their opinions on like you're violating his privacy, how they feel about their privacy. Oh, he definitely cheating on you. Oh, you look stupid. All that stuff. He had been posting pictures of himself with family and friend members at the time, friend and family members at the time, and she thought his rule of not wanting her on social media pages was a sign that he was not committed to the relationship. So he was posting pictures of his own on his account, but not with none with her. He kept saying he wanted to marry me, but he wasn't really taking the steps to really invest in me. I kept thinking there's no way this rule could be that important, more important than what we have. Well, okay.
Apparently you found out.
There's one way to find out, right? And that's what made me think there's got to be someone else in the picture, and she must be important because I don't know anyone who would sacrifice a relationship with somebody they love for a rule. It happens to people every day.
People have these rules for a reason sometimes.
So when it came time to celebrate the 1-year anniversary in February, she said she decided to break the relationship up. Since her partner still did not want to go public on social media, even though she had met his family and invested a lot of time to the relationship by that point. So she shared with TikTok this video, the story. And she said in the video, she shared a picture of her boyfriend's face, disclosed his name, Derwin, in spite of his previous demands for online privacy, in the hopes that someone would recognize him. At that point, she said, I felt like I didn't have anything to lose. I was livid. I knew that the video would expose him and me to the world and open up a can of worms, but I felt like it was worth it to find her. The post went viral, receiving 12.3 million views.
Goddamn!
And several prominent creators on the app shared it to spread the word. She told the Insider she then received a message from a woman saying her cousin had been seeing the same man for around 2 years. So what do you do? Because I definitely felt like this was kind of a wild thing to do. What do you do when you're right? Now, that being said, the fact that you even had all these questions and posted it, to me, the relationship was over. Even if you put this video out and nobody came back and said he was cheating, it wouldn't matter. The fact that you did this means you can't just go back to not crazy. The woman whose cousin Victoria said was dating Derwin did not respond to multiple attempts to reach her for comment. She was like, keep me out. 12 million people don't need to be in my business.
Ain't that the truth?
She had no idea what it was like to have millions of people watch her on one of her TikToks. While an overwhelming majority of people expressed support for her, she was shocked by the negative. You put it to everybody, sis. You expected 100% compliance. Come on now. Come on now. Even if you share something kind of wholesome, it's somebody that don't like that shit. Yes, once you get to the millions of people. But yeah, people made remarks about her ex-boyfriend's appearance.
About her appearance, like people come.
Well, hold up now. Hold up. You served him up.
Yes, you did.
Not only did you put him out there as this, you put him out there as this nigga probably cheating on me. Can y'all help me? Did you think the internet was gonna be like, well, we're not gonna talk about his appearance? Now, what happens is, as they talk about his appearance, what they're really talking about is your taste.
Yes, they are.
And what you were settling for, or dealing with. So they think they're helping you. Like, girl, he ugly anyway. But also they're saying, like, what you don't want to admit is this the nigga that broke your heart and you was in love. And now they like, this nigga ain't shit. And it's like, no. He's not shit for cheating, but he was fine until I found that out, right? No.
Gotta go into them.
We just met him and we all hate him. But yeah, she said it made her feel uncomfortable. Yeah, and of course, like, what does it say about his body? What does it say? Like, you know, this happens all the time, you know. Internet, Ruth don't live on the internet. So she asked the viewers in a follow-up video not to send hate comments to him or his family or workplace. Oh, girl, please. Oh, now it's on the internet. Now you expect the internet to have.
Well, that ain't how this works. I hope she don't know. That's not how none of this.
This is my least favorite thing about internet harassment shit is when you put somebody on the internet in a way that you know will probably lead to them being harassed. But in order to play the good person, you're like, please don't do that. It's like, what do you mean, please don't? You literally was saying, please do. Anyway, she said, don't send hate comments to him, his family, workplace, telling Insider she thinks sometimes the internet take things too far, become a dangerous place. She did not find
the internet.
She did not find the positive comments as helpful as she initially thought she would either. Where other women who have previously gone viral for divulging the ins and outs of their relationship breakdown online have told Insider they found the online community support comforting. Victoria says she ultimately did not find it truly satisfying, particularly in the proportion to the pain of heartbreak. Yeah, because your heart was broke. That's the real truth. All this other shit was you trying to, I don't know,
cover that up.
Yeah. It does not feel good to look at those comments, but no one is here in this apartment with me while I'm crying.
Right.
No one is here to pick me up off the floor, tell me how loved I am. They don't love me. They might love an aspect of me, a part of me I show online, but no one is here. It's just me that has to go through the healing process. Girl, that was always the truth.
Right.
And like putting your business out there for millions of people was not going to change a goddamn thing.
Not about how you feel internally about yourself. Nope.
Yeah. It's that whole thing about when you go looking like, yeah, anger is sad with no place to go.
Yes, it is.
Despite the consequences of going viral on her former boyfriend, she thinks posting the video was worth it because she believes it helped her find out the truth. A truth that was going to do what for you? You had all the information you needed. Straight up. Like, I guess maybe you feel like there's closure, but clearly you're still hurting. It doesn't change the pain. And like, you knew this nigga was on some grimy shit the whole time, or you wouldn't have posted it with that much like, please go find out the evidence. You know, maybe it's because of the gaslighting of it, and that's why you need to know. And you know, easy for me to say because it's not bothering me, but I guess as a person that has watched a lot of cheaters, it's just like it. You know, everybody that called that show know.
Yeah, they do.
The evidence
they already
never
know the answer.
Having the evidence never really changes shit because either the person lies or tries to make it their fault, or they say they're sorry, but it doesn't really mean anything, you know? Anyway, she said, I did what I did. I think that what I did was the right thing to do because I had to know, needed to walk away with clarity. All right, Karen, that's the race.
Black.
Karen's going black. Let's check the chat room, see what they believe. Let's check.
Might take a second.
Yeah, it's probably gonna take them a second. You guys know they're very contemplative with their racism. Black says Yeti with an exclamation point.
That's how you know it's serious.
White Derwin, like white Dante White. Oh, I don't have his picture. I meant hers, but I guess I could go find his picture too. I just have to go on TikTok and see what the video looks like. We got that part, sis. Let's get to this nigga's face. What's happening? What's going on? This is taking way too long. Okay, all right. I do have both races now, and I'll just skip right to the answer. Black.
Because I left him.
One person got it wrong, it seems. But Derwin is one of them names for sure. But I guess you can kind of see his face there. So that's him. They look like kind of a cute couple, you know. That's sad.
It really is.
His face do look like she better not post this.
Only thing missing, his mustache like got a curl up on the ends.
Yeah, well, he was a villain. Maybe you could say it was his evil twin that was cheating. Well, that's sad for her, you know. But ultimately, I think it was always sadness that she was dealing with.
Of course.
All right, let's do another one. Man nabbed on cocaine rap was doused in mystery milk substance.
What? What's the vitamin D?
His name is Anthony Coleman Hill. The 28-year-old Floridian was arrested this month for cocaine possession after police responded to a 911 call about a trespasser acting erratic and doing drugs outside of a 7-Eleven in Orlando.
Oh, not the 7-Eleven.
Upon arriving at the convenience store, cops spotted Coleman Hill smoking what appeared to be illegal narcotics. He allegedly was displaying signs of narcotic impairment Reportedly,
What does that even mean?
reportedly said that he had been smoking the Molly. A search for Coleman Hill yielded a small bag of cocaine from a pants pocket, according to an arrest affidavit. Coleman Hill was arrested on a felony drug possession charge and booked in the Orange County Jail, where he remains locked up in lieu of $1,000 bond. He transported to jail without incident and gave no insight into why he appeared to have been doused by a milky substance. Karen, guess the race. Anthony Coleman Hill.
3 names white.
3 names
Cocaine, not crack white.
All right. Guess I'm old. Okay, that's what somebody said.
Guess I'm old. Me too, baby.
Salamander skin white. Serial killer 3 names white. Says June. Narcotic equal nigga black. Coke orgy white. That's where the milk came from. It was a bukkake and cocaine party.
Oh no!
3 names of Florida at 7-Eleven white, trifecta white man, cocaine white, Dahmer white, PNP white. This is a black. Karen says white. The correct answer is black. Some people got it right.
Oh no! What is that? Milk of magnesium? What is that?
I don't know. I think it's milk and magnesia, but yeah, I don't know what that is. And I don't know. Ugh. All right. Yeah. Let's get
milk, sour cream. Ugh.
All right. Let's go to the bonus round. Karen's 1-1.
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
A Christian OnlyFans star says she feels more connected to her faith since she kickstarted her kinky career 7 years ago and now believes God put her on earth to help liberate other women from their sexual shame. Courtney Tillia, 35, made the declaration during an interview on Sunday saying God's message has been abundantly clear. I'm here to be a porn star. This is my way of serving. Well, they do stay on their knees. The more the mom of 4, so she probably has a video collection of the exact day they were born. You know, that's one of the good news, you know, the good parts. She worked as a high school teacher, but found that her life lacked meaning and her spirituality was suffering as a result. Right. Because like God didn't put you on earth to lead these kids to education. Come on. Before I left teaching, I felt super disconnected from myself and also God. I didn't know what my life's purpose was or how I was meant to help others. Not teaching. That wasn't it. In 2016, she found the courage to quit the classroom and began an OnlyFans account with the support of her husband, Nick, the ex-educator, or should they say XXX educator? Come on, guys. Admits that she felt ashamed of her X-rated escapades before she slowly began to realize that her strict Christian upbringing was causing her guilt. Hey, you see this all the time. Like, shame is so tied. Shame and guilt is such an integral part of religion. And it gives people so many complexes about shit that is mostly fucking harmless.
Yes.
But like they can't not equate it with shame, and then they make it everybody else's issues. Next thing you know, the 10 commandments on your high school fucking gym
on the wall.
Because these motherfuckers can't stop looking at titties without feeling bad. I had so much sexual shame on my own at first. I remember being at a photo shoot with that had several porn stars, and I was so triggered. I could feel the judgments that society and religion had instilled in me, and I was very aware of it. That part of me felt like their sexual choices and expressions were wrong and immoral. I even felt wrong by the association in that moment, but that didn't feel like God telling me to feel that way. Then her OnlyFans quickly took off, with fawning fans helping her to shake off the shame she had acquired. Yeah. Them dollars.
Shaking that money.
Right.
Where them dollars at?
Right.
You don't get paid that in school.
Right. Is she like twerking to Kirk Franklin? Like, how's that work? So then, empowered by the joy, you know she was empowered now that she brought her new subscribers as well as the boon to her bank account. The liberated mom recognized her new career was actually part of God's plan. Yeah, I know. I bet the church was judging till them 10% tithes came in on Sunday.
They
It was
jumped,
like,
didn't they?
girl, do what you got to do. Okay. I'm going to subscribe. All right. The only double penetrate we care about is double penetrating the hearts of every Christian in here. I now reject any teaching or institution that depict God as an entity to be feared or to be judged by. God is loving, not fearful, and accepting, not judgmental. Exactly. Okay. We are not meant to suppress or deny things like our pleasure and sexual expression. Instead, we're meant to enjoy and embody them fully as God has intended. Exactly. They never tell you about how God impregnated Mary. Probably was a good time. I mean, if he's pure joy and love, I mean, why would it just be the baby just magically start appearing? Like, there's probably some freaky deaky stuff going in there. Talia told the Daily Star that she helps other repressed women fully enjoy their bodies, saying sexual pleasure is unified with God and holy. Back in 2021, the adult actress had told the Post that she had even started her own life coaching business to help other ladies embrace their sultry sides. I work with hundreds of women all over America, Australia, Europe, and everywhere. I'm helping those clients break through the shame and guilt that's been imposed upon them for wanting to be free to express their sexiness. Meanwhile, the beauty has been raking in considerable amounts of cash since she started her OnlyFans. Yeah, the fact she's doing this interview in front of everybody tells me she making the kind of money that's like, I ain't working a regular job again anyway.
Never again. Right?
I ain't got to worry about filling out an application to a school. So last year she revealed she had made millions of dollars since starting the sultry subscription page. I feel better than I ever have in my life. I've changed my life financially. I'm changing the lives of other women. I'm happy just doing me. Karen, guess the race.
Oh, White.
All right. Let's go, White. Let's check the chat room, see what they believe. The Joy of Sex, White. Miss Fizzle teaches twerk 101 before Sunday sermon, White. This is a white woman. They would never write this positively about a black woman and her sexuality. Not Drake's God's Plan playing in the background on those OnlyFans videos, White. Only a white will turn this into a business so quickly. Alabaster Angel White. God said to lay hands of love on you, brother. She said, God, I could do better with no hands love on my brother, White. Tithing through them Tiggo White titties. Busted wide open Becky White. She's a white. Damn, I think everyone said white. Let's say Courtney Cox White. The correct answer is white. I wonder if people with religious hangups are gonna go find her and feel like they can jack off to her, you know? Like the people that deal with the religious, you know, like the J.L. Coe bands of the world that, you know, jack off with the tears of Christ in their eyes. Are they gonna go support her?
Because she's built, man.
I don't know if she's a bodybuilder, but you know, she's definitely in amazing shape.
Right.
You know, you can't really see anything from the back, so we don't know if she's a pog. Right. You know, but she is white.
I don't think she is, because pogs like to let you know.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Like she went from critical race theory to critical interracial theory, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that's her story. And,
I asked because that picture right there.
Oh yeah, yes. I mean, she look like she handles some weights, but I just don't know if she's a bodybuilder.
Yeah, no problem.
But yeah, there you go, guys. Shout out to the Christian porn stars. We love to see it. Okay. Amen. I wonder if she has sales for like Easter and stuff. You know, for her content.
Oh, you know she does.
You know, she has special days. Oh, it's Sodom and Gomorrah Saturdays. Going down.
Joseph Sunday.
Don't miss it. You're gonna be a pillar of salt.
Oh no.
All right. There's a lot of incest in the Bible, so we got that going. Oh man. College student who killed a man with a sword sentenced twice to 55 years in prison.
That is twice.
Yes, he got a second 55-year prison sentence from the Connecticut court. He attacked 2 people with a samurai sword, killing one, severely injuring the other. In the second sentence, that is identical in length for Peter Manfredonia, 26, who also fatally shot a man and kidnapped his girlfriend before leading police on a 6-day manhunt.
Goddamn. They were doing it all.
He was a senior studying finance and mechanical engineering at the University of Connecticut, and he just flipped, according to his arrest record. He fatally struck 62-year-old Theodore Demers with a sword outside the man's home in Willington, Connecticut. He also attacked the man who came to the rescue, John Franco, who was 80 years old, leaving him with severe injuries to his hands, neck, and head. He broke into a nearby home, took a third man hostage for 24 hours. A day later, he drove across the street to Derby, fatally shot a former classmate, and then kidnapped the classmate's girlfriend. He let her go physically unharmed at a rest stop in New Jersey. After a 6-day search, police arrested him at a truck stop in Hagerstown, Maryland, without incidents. On Wednesday, the defendant was sentenced to 55 years in prison for the second killing and kidnapping. On Thursday, he was sentenced to an additional 55 years in prison for the sword attacks. Yes, get his ass. Between the 2 cases, he pled guilty to 5 counts of murder, assault, kidnapping, and home invasion. Both of his sentences will run concurrently. He agreed not to seek early release as part of his plea.
Oh, so you're going to serve all them 55.
Do the whole 55. The victim and their family in both cases agreed to the plea bargain after months of discussion. Yep. Go ahead and get him out of here.
Oof.
Good job, everybody. All right, that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back later on throughout the week. Until then, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Have a good rest of your night. Peace.